In the midst of a heated debate, among a group of acquaintances gathered in a dimly lit cafe, a contentious topic arose, sparking fiery exchanges and passionate arguments. Among them was Mark, his voice laced with indignation as he boldly accused Prophet Muhammad of being a pedophile. How can you revere someone like Muhammad? Mark's words pierced the air, causing a ripple of discomfort among the group. He married Ayesha, a mere child of 9 years old. That's nothing short of pedophilia. His accusation hung heavy in the room, casting a shadow over the otherwise jovial atmosphere. Some exchanged uneasy glances, while others bristled with defiance, unwilling to accept such a provocative statement. Nayab, usually the voice of reason in such debates, spoke up, her tone measured yet firm. Before we jump to conclusions, let's consider the broader context of Prophet Muhammad's life and teachings. It's unfair to judge him based solely on one aspect of his personal history. But Mark was undeterred, his conviction unshaken. His followers are no better. He continued, his words dripping with disdain. By following him, they are condoning his actions and perpetuating a culture of exploitation and abuse. It's disgusting. Tensions mounted as the discussion veered into dangerous territory, with emotions running high and tempers flaring. Accusations flew back and forth, each side entrenched in their beliefs, unwilling to concede ground. Amidst the chaos, a voice of reason emerged, cutting through the cacophony with a clarity that silenced the room. It was Saqib, his gaze steady and unwavering as he addressed the group. Before we pass judgment, let's take a step back and consider the complexities of history and morality, Saqib urged, his words resonating with wisdom born of introspection. Prophet Muhammad's life is a tapestry woven with both light and shadow, and to reduce it to a single thread is to do a disservice to his legacy. His words hung in the air, a poignant reminder of the need for nuance and understanding in the face of complex moral dilemmas. As the group reflected on Saqib's words, a sense of introspection settled over them, guiding them towards a deeper appreciation of the intricacies of human experience. Nayab, usually the voice of reason in such debates, spoke up. Her voice carried a weight of contemplation as she delved deeper into the discussion. But let's also acknowledge that societal norms change over time, she emphasized, her words resonating with the group. What was a norm then isn't a norm now. Just look at how our perspectives have changed over the centuries. Having children outside of marriage, embracing diverse sexual orientations, and challenging traditional notions of decency in dress. These are all examples of how societal norms have transformed. She paused, allowing the significance of her statement to settle in before continuing with added emphasis. So, while it may seem shocking to us now, we must understand the huge gap in time that separates us from historical events. We're talking about periods that are 1,500 years apart, such as Prophet Muhammad's marriage to Ayesha. Cultural and societal standards were vastly different then, It's crucial to examine historical figures within the context of their time, rather than imposing our modern values retroactively. Nayab's gaze swept across the group, her conviction unwavering as she added, "Judging them with current standards of morality is not only misguided but also extremely unfair. We must strive to understand the complexities of their era and the nuances of their actions before passing judgment." Amidst the ongoing debate, Fatima, a contemplative member of the group, chimed in, her words adding depth to the conversation. "Exactly," she affirmed, nodding thoughtfully. "Even just 100 years ago, the idea of same-sex relationships or revealing clothing
What the hell?
would have been met with dislike. Our ancestors would view us as morally devolved. Yet we have simply adapted to the changing times, and no one views us as morally devolved in this current era." Her perspective resonated with the group, underscoring the fluid nature of societal norms and the importance of considering historical context. As Fatma's words settled in, the group found themselves reflecting on the evolution of morality and the challenges of reconciling past actions with contemporary values. Amidst all the chaotic and unpleasant voices, John interjected with a reflective tone. "In ancient times, societies didn't have the same understanding of marriage as we do now. It took centuries for human societies to develop the idea of legal relationships that bind individuals together in a more structured and stable way than mere instinctual desires. Marriage, in essence, offers a framework for stability and structure in our lives." He paused briefly before continuing. "And here we are, seemingly back to where we started, living in a society where marriage isn't as prevalent.
What the hell?
Just 60 or 70 years ago, straying outside the bounds of marriage
What the hell?
was heavily frowned upon.
What?
But now it's become commonplace to live without the institution of marriage, almost as if we've regressed to a more primitive state." "Indeed," Sarah agreed. "But who can predict what will be considered normal 1,000 or even 100 years from now? Incestuous relationships, complete nudity, these could potentially become widespread practices in the distant future. And when that time comes, people may view us as the oppressors of their era. Future generations might perceive our societal norms and values as oppressive or outdated. For instance, just as we now critique historical figures for their actions that are considered unacceptable by today's standards, future societies may look back on our practices with similar dislike. Perhaps they'll view our stance on social issues as oppressive or unjust." As the conversation wandered through the corridors of time, Stephen raised an intriguing question. What exactly is the definition of a pedophile? Was Prophet Muhammad one according to that definition? The group fell silent, pondering the weight of Stephen's question. After a moment of reflection, Saqib spoke up. "No, absolutely not. Prophet Muhammad was legally married to Ayesha. Theirs was a formal marriage, not merely a casual relationship. Furthermore, the exact age of Ayesha remains uncertain, adding complexity to the discussion. It's crucial to contextualize their marriage within the norms of their time, which was over 1,500 years ago. It's essential to recognize that marrying at a young age was a common practice during that time period. How is that fair to single out just one individual for criticism? Is this scrutiny driven by a particular dislike or hate toward Prophet Muhammad or Islam? Despite this, Prophet Muhammad's actions were not unusual or outside the norms of his era. His actions aligned with the societal norms of his time period. Most importantly, our reverence for Prophet Muhammad stems from numerous valid and righteous reasons, extending far beyond his marriage to Ayesha. His marriage to Ayesha represents just one aspect of his life. To judge him solely based on this aspect would overlook the multitude of reasons for our deep admiration and unwavering loyalty. John nodded in agreement. Each of us must strive to understand the complexities of history and the nuances of morality before casting aspersions. Comparing different eras, especially those separated by centuries, is a futile exercise. Instead, let us focus on learning from the past and shaping a future guided by compassion, understanding, and respect for diversity. As the conversation unfolded, Mark found himself quietly reflecting on the logic and wisdom in his friend's arguments. With newfound understanding, he realized the importance of considering historical context and societal norms when assessing complex issues. Gradually, the veil of indignation lifted, replaced by a sense of humility and openness to different perspectives. And so, the friends continued their conversation late into the night, their minds filled with the timeless wisdom of ages past and the boundless possibilities of the future. For in the ever-shifting sands of time, they found not only the echoes of the past, but also the seeds of hope for a brighter tomorrow.